welcome to my kitchen. It's a little bit in shambles today because I'm in the process of doing a deep clean, cleaning my whole house. We're going to the beach tomorrow and to Charleston, South Carolina, and we're just going to have a blast. I've never been. I'm so looking forward to it. But I'm going to have a house sitter to take care of my dogs. So we're kind of cleaning and everything. But I stumbled across this pizza that I made just a couple days ago, and it was amazing. And let me tell you this, we have a gourmet pizzeria here in town. I went there yesterday and got their gluten-free pizza. There's nothing compared to this one that I made myself. The one I made myself was far cheaper and far better. So I'm going to share that recipe with you. The first thing you're going to need is a pizza crust. And now keep in mind, this recipe is gluten-free. It is 99% vegan. It would be 100% vegan if I had made my own crust from scratch, which I really have not had time for lately. But yeah, so you'll need this pizza crust. It's by Udi's. I don't have a picture of the bag because I opened mine and threw it away and whatnot. So I'm going to put a picture of it right over here. And you can find this in the frozen section of most supermarkets. I actually got mine at Walmart. You get 2 crusts for less than $5 where I live, so it's a really good deal. It's not bad at all. So anyway, some of the ingredients I'm going to be using is tomato paste. This is what I use for my sauce base. I use all kinds of seasonings. I just use Italian seasoning. This is also for the sauce base. Italian seasoning, garlic powder, crushed red pepper. I'm going to try some sriracha. This is Tabasco sriracha. I'm going to try that. I use a little salt, and just whatever I want to put on the pizza. So I'm going to turn the video around and show you guys what I'm going to put on this pizza. Okay, here's the crust. It's not really big. Look, you love my fancy chipped plate here. But yeah, this crust is not super big. It's probably, if I had to guess, I would say 8 to 10 inches across. So for me, this is a personal pizza. I will eat this whole thing. But like I said, I will make my sauce base just out of tomato paste and all these seasonings. I'm going to be putting fresh spinach. I just chopped this up. It was baby spinach that I got in a bag. This is fresh basil from my herb garden. These are tricolor peppers and onions. I just bought this frozen because it's too much of a pain to deal with. Buying fresh vegetables, they have all that effort of chopping them and everything, plus they're very costly and they spoil really fast. So I just buy them frozen, and you want to thaw these out. I rinse them or let them sit in this dish with some cool water, and they thaw it out, and then you just kind of squeeze all the water out of them. This is jalapenos. I actually prefer to use fresh jalapeno because it's super spicy, but I don't have any right now, so I'm just using the pickled ones. And in an ideal world, I would have black olive slices as well, but I don't have any of those either. I'm out. This is my nutritional yeast. Actually, the brand, I don't buy this brand. I just use this can because if you look, this is only 12 ounces. And it cost me like $14 for this can. Where I found that Whole Foods actually sells their nutritional yeast in bulk. You can get a pound of it for less than $8. So I just buy it in bulk. I store it in that can, and I put it in this little shaker thing to use when I need it. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is take this tomato paste. I'm going to spread it on the crust. I can't do that with one hand, so I'll be back. Okay, so I've spread my tomato paste on there. The reason I use tomato paste is because I don't think there's even any sugar added to it. There's no salt added. The only ingredient in tomato paste is tomatoes. So that's what I use. But I wanted to try something. I saw somebody add some sriracha to their pizza crust or their pizza sauce. So I was going to try that and just see how it goes. I love spicy. And I thought, this might add a nice flavor to it. So we'll see how this goes. So after I use the sriracha, I'm going to take some just Italian seasoning. This has all the Italian seasoning goodies you could possibly need. I just sprinkle that right over the top of my tomato paste. And then I'll take some garlic powder and lightly dust it. Lightly. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. So just like that. Just barely dust it. Okay, and then once I've got my sauce all seasoned up, I'll put my spinach on here first. And really, you can put whatever you want on your pizza. You can use tomatoes, you can use carrots, mushrooms, whatever you want to use. I just don't have any of those right now, and I'm just kind of like, I'll just go with what I got. Kind of spread it around evenly. And I will also note that I've had this crust sitting on my plate for a little bit, so it's thawed to room temperature. It thaws actually pretty quickly. I've got my oven preheated to 375 per the package instructions for this crust. That's 375 Fahrenheit. And I'm putting the basil on here now. This is the basil. So we've got fresh basil and spinach. And you can load up as much as you want on here. Okay, then I'm going to put my peppers and onion mix. This stuff was so cheap, you guys. It was literally like less than $3. I think it was $2.50 for this bag of frozen peppers and onions. And I love peppers and onions, but sometimes I'll forget I have one in the fridge and it will spoil. Or I only need to use like, a quarter of a pepper or half a pepper. And so I'll cut what I need off of it, and then before I can use the rest of it, it will spoil or whatnot. So I just started buying the frozen stuff. Just make sure you've squeezed the water out of them after you thaw them. You do definitely want to thaw them before you put them on. And once again, I love, love, love spicy, so I am loading this baby up with jalapenos. I tell you what, the one I made a couple days ago, I put fresh jalapeno on. Not only is it a different flavor, but they are exponentially more spicy than the pickled ones for whatever reason. And I put 2 entire jalapenos on here so I would have jalapeno on every bite. And let me tell you what, my face was on freaking fire, but it was so good. It was so good. Okay. And now for my nutritional yeast. This is going to give me that cheesy flavor. There's no fat in the nutritional yeast, and I like a lot of it, so I'm going to open this puppy up. And I will just dump a crap ton of this on here. Cheese, really the main pleasure you get out of cheese is the fat, which I don't miss, and the salt. Because cheese without salt is nasty. It just tastes like oily, fatty goop. So, but this stuff to me tastes like nutritional yeast. If you've never had it, to me it reminds me of goldfish crackers that have been all crushed up. That's kind of what it tastes like. But of course there's no, bread or gluten or anything in them. But anyways, I've got my nutritional yeast on there. Now that's my cheese, and I will put the salt on top. When you put the salt on top, that's what your mouth is going to taste. One of the first things you're going to taste is the salt, and this will really hit that craving, and it will satisfy you very well. And that's really not a whole lot of salt. That's probably about half a teaspoon. I used, not half a teaspoon. I don't know. It's not very much that I put on there at all. This is sea salt, so it's got a coarse grind, and yeah. But salt it to your taste. And then, of course, I love spicy, so I am going to dump even more spiciness on here with the crushed red pepper. Everybody always laughs at me and they're like, golly, do you want some food with your peppers? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be nice. Just give me a big bowl of peppers. So that's my pizza before, and I'm going to put this, I've experimented with this crust 3 different ways. I've tried it on a pan, I've tried it just on a piece of foil in the oven, and I've tried it just on the bare rack. See, I was afraid of burning this crust. Well, to me, you can't get it crispy enough without it being on the straight rack. So my oven rack is placed in the center of my oven. I'm going to put this right on the rack, and I will cook it for 7 minutes since it's pretty much already thawed. And I will check it after 7 minutes, but I have found that usually about 10 to 12 minutes is perfect for me. So, but keep an eye on your pizza, check it, and get it to your desired doneness. I like to be able to lift this crust on the shelf and the whole thing, there's no give. It's stiff like a piece of board, but it's not burnt. That's how I like my pizza. So I'm gonna put mine in the oven and I will show you this bad boy when it is done. It's done. I just pulled it out of the oven. It is nice and crispy. Like I said, this will be like a personal pizza for me. I will cut it into fourths, but just look at this, and you might see the nutritional yeast on there and think, wow, that looks dry, and why would anyone eat that? But it's really not, trust me. By the time all those vegetables are on there, but the flavor of this thing is just out of this world. This has been my favorite pizza. I just can't wait to find my own crust recipe and make it completely vegan. But this is, like I said, you know, fat-free, guilt-free. There's no meat, there's no dairy. It's very, very, very low fat. I'm not entirely sure how much fat is in Udi's crust, but yeah, it's not very much. Next time, now I did get a video from High Carb Hannah. I was watching her video on their vegan pizza crust, and she used Bob's Red Mill, and she made it with a flax egg, so it was completely fat-free, completely vegan, and you know what? I'm going to try that one next. I'm actually planning on going at some point to the supermarket and picking up some of that. But yeah, so I'm going to cut into this bad boy and I'm going to have lunch because I'm hungry. Then I need to get back to cleaning so we can leave. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them and give you any advice I can. Thanks again, and y'all have a great day, and peace.